You ever read Nietzsche, Birth of Tragedy?
No.
And you call yourself an artist? One can't discuss Pollock without it. One can't discuss anything without it. What do they teach you in art school now? You read Freud?
No.
Jung?
Well...
Byron? Wordsworth? Aeschylus? Turgenev? Sophocles? Schopenhauer? Shakespeare? Hamlet? Oh, please, God, at least Hamlet. Quote me Hamlet right now.
To be or not to be, that is the question.
Is that the question?
I don't know.
You've got a lot to learn, young man. Philosophy, theology, literature, poetry, drama, history, archaeology, anthropology, mythology, music. Come on, these are your tools as much as brush and pigment. You cannot be an artist until you are civilized. You cannot be civilized until you learn. To be civilized is to know where you belong in the continuum of your art and your world. To surmount the past, you must know the past.
And this is why you can't be a good director by watching YouTube videos, camera specs, and doing camera tricks. You can't be a good director only by watching movies. You should educate yourself, learn about art, learn about life. What I see most of the time is just people showing off their gear.
I made this short film just because I wanted to do this cool effect. So I wrote a really bad story around this short film. And then I showed it to my friends at Disney, and the first reaction was, "Why did you make this story?"
And to be clear, it's not properly YouTubers' fault, because they are just doing what the movie business is doing, which is marketing based on gear. When was the last time you watched a movie based just on the marketing of the story and not of the camera and gear? It's always something like, we shot this on IMAX, we shot this with this tiny camera, we shot this on a sunny Venice without almost any light, we shot this with a virtual production. And you have to understand that these are just gimmicks to make you buy more stuff.
Mr. Ford, you made a picture called Three Bad Men, which was a large-scale Western, and you had a quite elaborate land rush in it.
Mm-hmm.
How did you shoot that?
With a camera.
I think that today we have the same problem that we had in the 1950s, when cinema had to compete against television. And to do that, they developed 65 and 70mm film. Not only that, but they also invented Cinerama. They tried all kind of things, and even if there are some great movies from that period, their greatness is in the story and not in these gimmicks. Lawrence of Arabia is amazing, has a great story, has great cinematography, but it doesn't show off by pulling out of focus every frame just because they had a large format camera. The art of cinema reborn in the 70s from a bunch of people that had access to none of this stuff, from people that wanted to tell stories first of all. Now the movie business has to compete with television, video games, streaming services and social media. That's why you see movies that looks more like video games and advertisement instead of looking like actual movies. I almost never see anyone lighting the set for the purpose of the story. Drama, comedy or musical, everything gets lit the same way. Most of the time, not because the director of photography doesn't know how to do his job, but because they have to meet the studio expectations. But if you're doing a short film, you don't have to conform with the studios. You're the boss of yourself. Just do things differently. Now take a look at this movie. The cinematography is amazing. And look how different the light gets from scene to scene, to further enhance the emotions of the story. All these YouTube videos and tutorials are just holding you back from achieving this. You should develop a certain sensibility on how to light your scenes, not based on some tutorials you watched on YouTube, not to show off your skills. You should serve the story, not your ego. To conclude this video, I just want to say that I'm not making this to point fingers towards directors or YouTubers. I just want to clarify that none of these gimmicks that you see all over the place are going to make you a better professional.
It's not about camera magic.
Yeah.
I mean, when I'm looking at student films or I'm looking at first-time directors' short films, I'm not looking for how great the camera is. I mean, so many people, I can look at any TV commercial and know that there are directors out there that can place a camera and sell a product, but can they tell a story that holds together and is compelling and original? And that's the secret. You know, I'm more interested in a storyteller that doesn't know anything about where to put the camera than someone who knows everything about the camera but nothing about the story process.